Hey yo, Miss Poppin, really sworn. So y'all know that June is Men's Health Month, right? Which I feel kind of ignorant. I feel ignorant to the fact, right? Because I feel like I had forgotten that men do have their own month highlighting health issues. Maybe I just didn't even remember. I felt like ignorant. And I went and did my research and everything because I'm like, how did I let that slip my mind? Coming from somebody who definitely has dealt with mental health, right? When I did my research, they say that the three main causes of death for men are heart disease, cancer, and accidental injuries. You know, um, the whole point of it is to shed light not just on those things physical that can affect your body, but also your mind too, because it's to highlight mental health also, just health period in men. you know. But I get the feel, I could be wrong. You leave a comment, you let me know. But I feel like for black men, mental health might be at the top of the list, if not second. Definitely for me, that's the one that checks off. And this has been a thing since 1992, right? I spoke on my own personal situation before. I don't even know how many people even remember that, right? And the thing about that, you do it. A lot of people are not going to come out and speak about that now, because the thing is, a lot of people not even don't even feel comfortable speaking to their own family and friends about their mental health issues. So damn sure they're not going to want to do it on the internet. But I guess I looked at it like you never know who's listening to you. You never know who's going through what you were going through. And also, I see no, I don't have any fear to speak about that, because for me, if it's something that you were able to get past, survive and beat, you can look back on it and say, yeah, I went through that, but I got through it. I'm good now. What can people say? This is the internet where people will take your worst moments that you speak of in your life, and they'll turn them against you, and they'll use them for entertainment, especially on this app, to be specific. You understand? But I'm not worried about that, because I believe in the energy of the universe, and you just manifesting some terrible energy. If you that type of person, then you got to deal with that. It's gonna come full circle like a boomerang. So I wasn't worried about that. But mental health for me, yeah, definitely was the one that checked off on the list. I was a teenager, and the thing is, the younger you are, the worse it is, fam. Right? It's like you barely even know what depression is. You might have heard the word on TV, or maybe you heard some people around you say the word before. But when I dealt with it was like, what is this feeling? I couldn't get the words together to describe what I was feeling, right? And I didn't go to like my parents or anything initially, because I was trying to understand what it was I was dealing with. And it ended up getting worse, which is why, of course they say reach out to somebody, talk to somebody. But when you're a kid, that's not on your mind. And if you're not gonna talk to your own parents, then certainly you're not gonna jump right out there and talk to a complete stranger. You know, as an adult, you understand it, but as a kid, I think it's like 16, 17, right? It's so crazy how mental health works. Depression, to be more specific. You could be sitting on your chair watching TV, or you could be having a conversation with somebody. It could be the happiest day of your life. Never been happier. But then maybe you seen a certain commercial that came on, or maybe the person you were talking to said a specific word that triggered something in your brain, and all of a sudden the sunniest day turns to the cloudiest day. Boom, just like that. Before you even have time to process And it's like, damn, I was just feeling so good a minute ago. You can't control it. You don't see it coming. It happens so swift. Such a quick change of the mind. It just doesn't even make sense. He's like, how the hell did I get here? It's like somebody scooped you up and just dropped you in a deep rabbit hole. And you know what I mean? And it really it gets worse, man. For some people, they're able to shake it off and bounce right back. For some people, it lasts a day. Some people it lasts a couple of days. For me, it was something that I went through. I want to say multiple times throughout the week. Every week could be like maybe three or I want to say three, maybe three, two times out of the week from Sunday to Friday. Like it was like clockwork sometimes. It's like sometimes it would come upon me at the same time that I had felt it before. I hated it because I'm like, oh my God, I feel like I'm getting that feeling again where I just don't know what to do with my damn self. You don't want to be bothered with nobody. You don't want to watch no TV. You ain't trying to hear nothing about no friends. You ain't trying to hear nothing about going outside. And the people who are around you, they looking at you like you crazy. Like, what the hell wrong with him? He was just good. He was just smiling, happy. And you can't find the words to explain to them why. You know, you just snapping at them like, yo, leave me alone. I'm all right. Like I'm all right. Nothing, nothing. You know, especially when you're a teenager. I think that might be the worst when you're a teenager. You know, but I can't say. I can't say. So when you're in your room, door closed, you're trapped in there. Not, well, I'll say this: you got the negative thoughts trapped in your brain, in your mind, while you're in the room by yourself. It's just you and those thoughts. It can only get worse from there, right? And that's exactly what happened. You know, it did get to a point where I was kind of like, I don't want to be here anymore. You know, and I did indulge in self harm. I had no problem putting that out there because I already spoke on this before anyway. You understand? You never know who's listening. You never know who's listening. You understand? When people hear these stories and these personal experiences that we put out there, you never know. Somebody might say, "Yo, I felt just like that." Hopefully, a kid my age might come across this, might be like, "Oh my God, I know what this guy's talking about." Seriously, you know. But yeah, man, I didn't like harm myself like in this vicious, ugly, disgusting way. Like I can't even tell you I was really trying to take myself out. I just think it was like a phase of trying to get attention because I couldn't get the words together to say to the people around me, look what I'm going through. So looking back at it, what I think it was me just putting visible proof on myself to show people. So I didn't have to get the words together. It basically was like, look at what I did. And you get the reaction you would expect. It's like, oh my God, how long you been going? Here come the questions. Boom. Right? Those marks, they stayed on me for some years actually. I wasn't actually like bleeding or anything like that. My mind had got so dark. I could probably leave this part out, but I'm gonna say this because I'm on this topic. It had got so dark for me that I actually kept a specific object underneath my pillow because I was just like, I don't even care no more, bro. I don't even give a damn no more. It is what it is. If I wake up in the middle of the night and I decide to use this to take myself out, it was like that. It was like that at times. Then when I would come to my senses, it'd be like, what the hell am I doing? What am I doing? It was like heckling, Jekyll and Hyde, like for for real. It was crazy. If you know, you know. Of course, when I showed, my loved ones, the words found their way to come out, and the next conversation was therapy, which was scary to me because I'm like, this is something you see on TV. People who have conversations with the people around them saying, you may need to talk to somebody. You understand? You see that on TV. So it's like, wow, I'm about to be one of those people. And I mean that respectfully, but from what I remember, I was down with it. It was scary because I didn't know, what I'm going to say to this stranger. It took me this long for me to come to my own fam about this. What am I going to say to this stranger? What are they going to ask me? You understand? I remember the lady's name to this day, Ann Fiato. I remember her name like it was yesterday. Shout out to her. Yeah, I remember her because she had blonde hair. She was probably like mid-30s, late 30s. She had these big pop eyes. These big pop-eyed eyes. So when she be sitting and she asking the questions, her eyes be looking at you like you crazy. Like, you know what I'm saying? But I'm not even trying to diss her, man. Shout out to her because I feel like it did help me in a sense. Looking back at it, I feel like it was a part of being a teenager going through, maybe some growing pains, going through school issues, switching schools, going to a school/boot camp, leaving friends behind. Um, it was just a part of life as a teenager. Maybe that's what it was because I can't ever remember a time in life where I had ever felt that damn bad other than that time. But for some people, as a full adult, it is something that they're going through on the daily. You understand? And they might have it worse than even I had it at that time. So I do think it is a dope thing that June highlights these type of things. Um, Prayers and positivity and love and blessings and all of that to anybody who's dealing with what they say are the three leading causes of death: heart disease, cancer, right? Or anyone who has lost someone from an accidental injury or who has actually been in one themselves and they're healing or recovering. But, I can't picture, I don't know. For me, it's like, what's worse, going through pain physically or going through it mentally? Because, pain, you can heal from it. Time heals the physical pain, but when you're dealing with it mentally, that's a different type of pain, fam. That's different. That's real different. That's so next level. Again, if you know, you know. You don't wish it on anybody, you know? Again, we talking about years and years and years ago. I'm 30-some years old. This is my teenage years, 16, 17 years old. But I'm blessed enough to be able to look back on it and say, I was able to get past it. I was able to survive that. If I wouldn't have gotten in contact with Ann Fiato, shout out to her again, I don't know if it's probably a good chance I wouldn't be sitting here recording this video right now. And I thought about that because as much pain as I was in mentally, emotionally, there was also that part of me that said I still want to live life. I still want to be happy. I'm young as hell. I want to make it to 20. I want to make it to 18. You know what I'm saying? Like so many things that I still want to do. So it was a fight. It really was a fight, man. Damn sure ain't nothing easy about it. If you're somebody listening and you can relate to it, maybe you have dealt with it, or maybe you are dealing with it. No matter what age, blessings and positivity to you. Everybody is different, so I can't say going to a therapist is going to help everybody. But it's like the best thing to do is to talk to somebody. If not a therapist, then talk to the people around you. Because hell, a few words are liable to help shift a person's mindset when they're in that state. Think about all the people we run into in the world when we go out into the world. People smile in your face, right? They'll say, how you doing? So for some people, you can see it written on their face. Something is going on with this person. Something ain't right with that person. I don't know if they're having a bad day or maybe mentally they're just going through something. For some people, you can see it written on their face, but for some people, it's a little bit different, especially men, because, we're wired a certain way where it's like we're built to suck it up, hold it in, be passive aggressive about it, but don't speak on it. You know what I mean? They say women, we know women, black women specifically go through their things, their stuff in the world, you know. So, ladies, check on your man sometimes. Hopefully he checks on you when he feels like you might be going through something. But, make sure if you got a man in your life, hell, if it's your brother, your father, whatever, check on your peoples, man. Check on your peoples, you know? And remember, especially us men, we're not always going to come and tell you what's wrong, what's going through our mind, what we're dealing with. You understand? But some people, you got to drag that shit out of them. But if you really love them, then you take time to do that. But I understand it's not always easy to tell. Of course it's not. Because we're men, black men to be specifically, we got it, we're good, leave me alone. Turn that game on. That's the average black, that's what the average black man, uh, that's what the average black man will do. I'm good, I'm straight. Let me roll my weed up. You know what I'm saying? Let me crack open this E&J or something like that. Everybody got their own ways of dealing with these things, but it never goes away. No matter how much we deal, you know, you medicate in your own way, but it does not make it easier. Just for the time being, it might make it easier to cope with. And depression is such a strong thing. When you're dealing with it. You don't have to be um diagnosed with it. When you're dealing with it. You understand? I knew what I was dealing with, but I didn't know. I knew it was something I didn't understand, but I knew I was going through something that I know I was going to need help with at some point. I had to build up the courage. You understand? I had to build up the courage. Even as grown men, sometimes we got to build up that courage, man. Shit is real. It's real. And the only thing, and this is why it really is a good thing that a month is taken and dedicated to men who go through this type of thing. Because the only thing other than men not wanting to talk about it, not opening their mouth to speak on what they're dealing with, is the fact that even me looking it up, it's a real thing that men's mental health, it can go ignored. You got stigma, you got judgment. It can go dismissed, overlooked, because we're men. The cliche thing is, oh, we're men, we got it. Everything is good. More so with black men. I think with black men than any other ethnicity for that matter. Shit, you tell me. Not to make excuses or anything, but who knows? It going ignored or dismissed or, downplayed could be the reason why you see a lot of black men doing the crimes that they do in the world. And hell no, I'm not making excuses for it, but I'm just saying when you really think about it, some of these things that we hear, these headlines, some of the craziest stories we hear. I just seen a story the other day, not saying it has anything to do with mental health, but when you considering what happened, it is a good chance it had something to do with mental health. I've seen a story where this dude had killed his I think 13-week-old baby by stuffing a baby wipe down her throat. I'm looking at the picture like this. Something definitely got to be wrong with this fool, man. One way or another, something is wrong with him. But when it really comes down to it, is it a mental health issue? Because let's face it, one way or another, we all fucked up in the head, man. We all going through some fucked up shit. Some worse than others. Some longer than others. Some have been going through it longer than others. You just never know what a person is dealing with. You never know. But life is life, and people don't always stop, their life to ask, are you okay? Are you good? People will say that to you, sure. How you doing? What's going on? You good? Everything good? You need anything? People will say that to you. But come on, man. Come on. like little do they really know. And because we're men, we're not gonna really sit there and think, we're not gonna actually think that they're coming from a place of, I really want to know what's going on with you. We're gonna say, yeah, I'm good. What's straight going on with you? And hell, they might be going through it worse than us. The person asking us, are we good, might be going through it worse than our ass. Shit is real. So at the end of the day, man, definitely blessings, positivity, and all to anybody and everyone. Not even just men, but women, anybody, right? Anyone who is of flesh and blood. Because there ain't a single person in the world that's exempt from this. No way, no how. Hell no. But y'all leave y'all comments, man. Y'all leave y'all opinions and everything. June being Men's Health Month, is that necessarily enough to make men want to speak up about what they're going through? Is that enough to make a man stop everything he's doing and just really speak up and say, listen, I've been going through it too. I know what you're talking about. I know what this month is really about because I can relate to it. Does it depend on the person and their personality? Is men's health, whether physical, mental, or emotional, is it downplayed? Is it really dismissed? Is it ignored? Is this month of highlighting it, is that enough? A month of anything is never enough anyway, you know? So I guess all we could do is be thankful that it's even brought up as a topic, even if it is just a month. But what about the rest of those days of the year, the rest of those days on the calendar? Because that's where it really counts. It's going to take more than a month, a year, to really like shine light on how much shit men really be going through. You know what I'm saying? But some men have to, you know, come to terms with it in their own time. And of course, on their own terms. And I'm going to leave it like that, though. Prayers and blessings to anybody who's going through it. Yeah, this month is based on what men go through. But at the end of the day, like I say, nobody's exempt. Nobody at all, man. Realest one I'm on.